Okay, so one of the projects I've been working on this shell, it's kind of dark in here. I'm setting it dark. Is a flickering boiler light. When these are come from Lionel, those are cast shut. Some of the higher end locomotives and even some of the Lion Chief locomotives have a glowing light, a firebox glow, they call it. I think it is. But this was cast shut. This wasn't ever meant to have one. So what I've made that's going to go behind there is this little guy. It's a piece of end cap for a pipe fitting, and I've got three flicker LEDs, and the camera doesn't do justice to this. The outboard two are red, and the upper one is yellow, and then behind this is a blue LED that I've glued on in to give a blue glow at the base, make it look like it's doing something. This I cut this back so it's going to have a shadow box to make some depth, but not too deep, not too shallow. That way that it'll reflect around inside there. You can see it's kind of going, but it'll also make a glow under the shell like an ash pan. So when the locomotive's going around, I'm hoping, not guaranteeing, but hoping you'll see a little ash pan light. If not, then I'm just going to dark out the outside. I may paint the back side of this, give it a little something just to keep this from shining all over the place, because the blue light's actually outside and creating light. But this is a pretty simple little project. When you're doing flicker lights and or blinking LEDs, or flicker LEDs and blinking LEDs, you have to put the resistor on each one of them and power it from the other end of the resistor. If you put all the LEDs together and then the resistor, they'll flicker or blink in sequence. Wired like I have them, and it's kind of hard to see, but they're randomly flickering. All the three different lights are randomly flickering, which gives a very neat effect. So let me pause this, and I'm going to stick it behind, kind of try to hold this and show you what I've got going on. Hold on. Okay, so the goal of this, and it really doesn't show too well in here because it's just I'm shooting direct light, and it darkened the room up and darkened the picture as much as I could. I've got the blue just below the lip. The two red flickers are to the sides, so it shouldn't be really any direct lighting except for the glow of the blue at the bottom. The yellow's above. But what this does is it makes a nice glow on the ledge of the opening, so you can see all the blinking and flickering in there to really show you there's some heat and light going on. And had I have not darkened this out so much, you would actually see on the floor of the cab the light coming out of the opening. It actually makes a nice little flicker on there. But when you look in there, and once I have this set exactly where I want it, unless you really tip this around, if you look in, you shouldn't really see any of the exposed lights, just the glow of the blue on the red plastic, which makes a nice violet blue, really hot spot at the bottom. So, yeah, this is a pretty neat little project. I'm going to run it with a constant voltage regulator that will allow me to basically run this and then the classification marker lights all off the same circuit, so they will always be on when the locomotive is on, or I should say when the track power is on. I didn't want to plug them into the TMCC because that would, if I put them into the headlight circuit, they would shut off when I put it in reverse, and I didn't want that. I want the marker lights and the boiler fire lights to work on their own. But that's going to be a neat little effect, and it's actually a pretty simple little build. So thanks for checking this out and watching.